I gotta clear some of this out. You know how they show me, like, the Bible is all about love and all the different types of love and all the different experiences people have with love. And it's to teach us how to get back to ourselves, to get back to unconditional love, loving oneself. Like when you hear people say love isn't enough, well, no, love is all there is, and love is all you need for yourself. But most people don't know how to love themselves. They're looking outside themselves. And when they say love isn't enough, they're suggesting with another. So it's still missing the whole point. And so, it talks about in the Bible, like all these like wars and all these different things. And it's the relationship with love outside oneself is going to be like that. It's going to be wars and battles and dealing with narcissists and energy vampires, and people will suck you dry and steal from you and take from you until you learn how to fully love yourself. And it's no easy feat when we've always been trained to look outside ourselves for love and to fill up. And so it's like once you get that concept, the battle begins, because now you have to untrain all that shit. And it can take lifetimes to untrain yourself, or it can take you an instant. It just depends on where you are in your soul's journey. This could be the remembering your soul needed. Done. You're on your path. You're all set to go. It's some of it takes a lot longer to learn what it means to love ourselves, honor ourselves, stand up for ourselves, to stop putting others ahead of us and putting ourselves on the back burner. Stop looking at other people's potential. Look at your own potential. Invest in yourself. Love yourself. Dream for yourself. Okay, so now that we're getting to dreams, when I tell you it's nonstop over here, we were talking about that because, they work with me through imagery a lot, and I love it, and I love that, and it helps me, and it also helps me not to worry about it or go too fast sometimes, because I'm just speaking through the imagery they're showing me, and just helps me relax a little. And yet it can also keep one stuck, which was our conversation, how some of us, not my conversation with them, but I'm talking about for myself when I visualize or I do imagery. I love it very much, and it is very beneficial. But here's just a little note that I notice for myself, that at times it can keep us stuck, because in our dreaming, in our imagery, in our attempt to feel good and to see what would allow us to feel good, we can then get fixated or stuck on specifics. And that limits our potential and our possibilities and our opportunities. And so I just want you to bear that in mind when you are doing your visualization, your imagery, your dreaming, your thoughts, like all these things. It's always be careful of your thoughts, but also be mindful that when you find thoughts that are enjoyable to you and you indulge in them, beautiful, wonderful, I want you to, and I want you to dream big. I just don't want you to disappoint yourself, because I think that's what happens for me oftentimes, is I will end up becoming eventually too specific. Even if I'm ramping up in the most beautiful way, it can have me question myself when other things come in that feel good and feel similar. I'm like, oh, but wait, no, I'm waiting for that very specific thing. And it's like, okay, you can miss that opportunity then. You can miss that possibility then. And it also limits us in the thought that if we take that, then we can't have the other. And sometimes that is the case. If it's something that you're making a contract with, locking yourself into, then you are locked into that, and the other thing that was coming along now can't come along for that much longer. So there's just a lot of these little nuances, these little tweaks that are important. Very careful with your words, your thoughts, all these things we know, but these are just the reminders as to why, where it's like, dream big, indulge in that, and love yourself, honor yourself, go with the flow as much as you can. But I do think it's important that you're aware of these little nuances, because it's like you can kick yourself or beat yourself up or get stuck in your head, overthinking, overanalyzing, overworrying. And you can also be too easy peasy going with the flow to the point where you missed some stuff along the way. So it is back to that balance so you can fine tune oneself. And it is the idea, the other thing they keep showing is this idea of like lifting up out of the matrix where, oh God, it's like they were, forgive these words again, because I feel like, again, they're just so overused, but it was like toxic, narcissistic, vampires, like a lot of covert, like smile in your face. You just would never, ever know or never think of them that way, but it's because they've gotten actually that much more advanced, right? That much more sneaky, this kind of thing, where it's not meant to be like that as much as it's meant to force you into loving yourself. So it's like, it's so much more painful to understand that, to see those truths, to all these things. But then it's like, don't look at the pain of it, but look at it like it had to be that painful before you loved yourself, before you understood what love meant, before you understood what loving yourself meant, because you weren't doing that. You weren't loving yourself. You weren't accepting yourself. You weren't going inward. You weren't listening to yourself. You weren't uniting with yourself. You were seeking outside yourself. So it was kind of like the universe was like, fine, I'm going to let you keep seeking outside yourself, and I'm going to let vampires suck on you, narcissists be around you, so you can be like, this fucking sucks. This is painful. I'm tired of it. Thank fucking God. Because you're not supposed to be seeking outside yourself to fill up. You're supposed to be seeking within to fill yourself up. But you don't even know me. You don't even know God. So you don't know how that's going to look or feel. So you better get busy. You better start loving yourself. You better start figuring it out. You better start uncovering it. And that takes time. All that time you've been wasting outside yourself. Now you have all the time in the world to pour into yourself. So I really do feel like I could go on for days because they've been giving me stuff that has been having my mind blow. And I feel like I have to get all this other stuff out before I can get to it. So who knows how long this is going to go on for, but they're already rolling me into other things. I want to stop and start another one. Thanks so much for tuning in and listening. You can now purchase an audio journey with me using the link below.